Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie, and welcome back to another DraftKings DFS UCL slate breakdown. So, second game week of UCL, and it is a fat game week. Like, there's what, one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 game main slate. It's a Man City slated minus 2,000, Barcelona minus 1,200, even Dortmund at like minus 200 or Inter at minus 588. So it's a big daddy slate. There's a lot of options, so a lot to break down. I'll try to be kind of quick in breaking down these lineups and set pieces because we got a lot to get through. For Man City, it should be Foden. There's a chance that Savinho maybe takes something, a chance that maybe Nunez takes something. Last time Foden started, he took like 5 corners, like 2 crosses. I worry about a little bit, but like you're not really playing just for corners anyway against a team like Slovan Bratislava, where you just go about goal contributions for most of these City guys, regardless. And then for Slovan, it should be Tolic, maybe a little bit of Vice and Barshegian, but don't expect many set pieces from them. Oh yeah, and let me go into the lineup isn't working on FootMob for PSV Sporting, but if it's these lineups, I expect it to be mostly Veerman with Bakayoko splitting here and there. And for Sporting, it should be mostly Nuno Santos, maybe Trincao, maybe Quenda take a couple each. But with Gonçalves out, or doubtful at least, Nuno Santos is the kind of like the main set piece taker. For Barcelona, it should be mostly Rafinha. There's a small chance like Torre splits, but I don't know to what extent. Like he might just have like 25% like split one side. And then there's always a chance that Yamal or Pedri could take like one or two short, but it's mostly Rafinha. He's the main guy. And for young boys, it is a Ugrinch monopoly. Bayer Leverkusen and Milan, it is a Grimaldo and Beard split in this team. If we see Alex Garcia, he will have that Beard share. Grimaldo will take no matter what, though. And for AC Milan, it should be Pulisic and Teo Hernandez splitting. Dortmund, Gross is the main guy now. He had like 16 crosses or some crazy number in the league last game out. He's the main set piece guy. Julian Brandt is a small chance that he splits or like just has like a couple of sets, but it's mostly Gross. And for Celtic, it is an Angles monopoly. I think I missed the Arsenal game. It should be a Saka and Rice split. Rice was like not efficient at all with his corners last game. He had like 10, he had like 0 accurate. I still think he'll still be the set piece guy. And for PSG, it should be a Lee Kang-in monopoly with the news coming out that Ousmane Dembele is being punched, like not even going to be in the squad for this game. Inter Milan, it is a DiMarco and Çalhanoğlu split. They're pretty clear. And for Red Star in this lineup, it should be an Elsnik monopoly. Prices. A lot of guys here. Top of them all is Erling Haaland. I don't know what his goal odds are going to be. They're probably like minus 250 or something. I think at this price, you probably want like 2 goals, and it's very achievable. He's a big decision. Like it's always tough to play him or not because he has 0 floor, and it's just that can you dodge a goal? Can't dodge 2 goals likely, and you think he gets 2 goals? Like he's a tough decision as always. Saka, I'm just probably not the slate for him. He's like the same price as Haaland, which is crazy. PSG are like not a bad team, so in cash, not really interested in GBP. I'll have maybe like 1 or 2, but not loving him there either. Varane won't play. Dembele's out, like we talked about. Rafinha, this is a pretty good cash play. Takes the majority of Barcelona's sets in the second best matchup on the slate. We're going to see that Barcelona are super underpriced here. He's probably like the most fair of them. There's going to be some bargains as we go down on them, but Rafinha is like the most expensive Barca player for a reason. He's probably in the best spot on paper. Savinho, a little much for me. There's a small chance he alphas Foden for set pieces. Even then, probably a bit of a minutes risk. He's not that much of a discount on like a Holland, so I'm not loving him there. If he was like 7K, I could maybe get behind it, but at 8,600, considering that there's going to be a lot of cheaper guys down here at forward that I'll get to, I'm not really interested in him. Rossi for GBP, I think is good cash. Not interested in. Doku, I don't think is bad at 7,600. That is what Savinho should be. He doesn't really have any chance of taking sets, but if he plays on the right hand side, which he should if Savinho is in, It's a little bit more crosses than he does playing on the left, where he just kind of cuts in. So I don't think he's that bad of a play. Gyökeres is never a bad GBP play, just the hottest striker in the world right now, I think. Lautaro kind of had a bounce back game over the weekend, finally got some goals. He's had a slow start to the Serie A season. It's probably why he's so cheap. Like, I don't mind that. But once again, a GBP play. Now, Lewandowski at 7K, I think that's underpriced. It's just a weird time last game when they got Barcelona got that early red card when they were ridiculously mispriced against Monaco. I think they still won, I want to say. Maybe they didn't win, but they made the game competitive still. But like Barcelona just robbed of like the flow in that game. And Lewandowski is still in a good spot at 7K on this slate with that matchup. Lamine Yamal, 6,600. This is kind of like the guy I was talking about when I said that like Barcelona's ridiculously underpriced. Like Lua is underpriced, yes, but Yamal, he's been more than Lewandowski at times in whatever slate Barcelona's been included on, like their showdowns or interleague, wherever DraftKings has offered at times. And at UCL, he continues to be cheaper. He continues to be sub 7K, which is crazy considering the matchup, considering how good he's been. Scored a goal off the bench in the league when they were resting all their starters. I just love Yamal here. Like, I might even have him in my core despite probably not having sets, which is kind of unlike me, but just love Yamal as a play here. Bakayoko I like a lot too. I wouldn't play him over Yamal or anything, but I'll have a shared VPP. And I'm not super interested in a lot of these other guys. Martinelli, 5,500 is not bad just to punt a cheap striker. Same with like Bino Gittins if he's in. Trincao, I don't think is bad for that price. But yeah, the big guys are the Barcelona pieces, and then it's your pay-ups of Holland, of Rafinha. Not a ton of super like low punts that I'm interested in here. Midfielders, Phil Foden. It's a tough one. He doesn't cross the ball nearly as much as Kevin De Bruyne. Like it's not even close. De Bruyne could have like 13 crosses, 5 corners. Foden, you'd never see a stat line like that. Maybe he gets like 7. You probably gets like 10 corners, 7 crosses. That's what I expect from a Foden. Like it could be good, but like he doesn't have that reliable floor. Like I mean, he doesn't shot somewhat, so you can maybe count on that a little bit. But at this price, you're not gonna have like your 15-point floor that you would get off of a De Bruyne. So I wouldn't say he's a lock. He's still a good play though, just because of the matchup. After that, like Pulisic, I don't really like with that matchup. Gundogan, I think is a little much. Even if he would have sets if he was started, he was really bad against. Who did they play last game? Arsenal? It wasn't Arsenal. Whoever they played last game, it's blanking me. Whatever, not important. Pedri's too much. He's like I don't know why he's that much when all the other Barca guys are so much cheaper. Like he should not be more than Yamal and Lewandowski. Declan Rice is too much for me as well. Bierman I don't think is bad, questionable. Brandt, meh. Ukrainic, tough matchup. Çalhanoğlu, I don't think is bad. I just don't really think he has the upside here, considering he split set pieces. I'd much rather get to a gross Monopoly guy. Like maybe he doesn't have like the goal contribution upside, but with as many crosses and key passes he tends to get, fine with that anyway. Like he'd get to 20 points in floor. That's enough upside for me as it is. He doesn't need a goal contribution really. Elsnick, tough matchup. Grealish, if he's in, that's a cheap way to get exposure to City. I don't mind that. Pablo Torre might have some set pieces. I just don't like that he's kind of like a 60-minute guy. So I'm not super interested in that aspect of him. I'd rather go to like a Yamal who you know is going to go 90 in a game like this. Santos, I like. If he was a defender, I'd love him. Midfielder, so many options that I find a little bit harder to get to. Arne Angles, I don't mind at 4,700. I think that's an all right play. This Illich guy, I think, would split with Elsnick if in for 2K cheaper. I know he's got the tough matchup, but like I don't think that's terrible. And then I'm not seeing a ton of other stuff here. I think that I'm probably gonna opt for a more balanced build here, like a bunch of 6K guys rather than like punting a 3K to fit more 9 and 10K guys. We'll see how lineups actually shake out, but there's just not a ton I love in this kind of low range. I don't mind who did I just see? Malas. He should have some sets if he's in. I think, maybe. I haven't researched that exactly yet, but I don't mind that. Defender, there's some big defender plays. Grimaldo, there's Hakimi, but it's a tough matchup. Frimpong, kind of expensive. And DiMarco. These are my two big name defenders. DiMarco, Grimaldo, they will be in my core. There's enough cheap pieces that you can kind of cram those two big defenders. Grimaldo's got so much upside. He's get like so many goal contributions with Bayer Leverkusen last season. Scored last UCL game week. DiMarco, kind of same thing. They're both wing backs. They get up the field like crazy. I know they don't have the best matchups compared to Man City and Barcelona, but I'm playing them for sure. Like they're so much better than the rest of these defenders here. Like I don't if you're not playing them, like I don't mind like a Rico Lewis in GPP just because he plays like an attacker almost. I'd still go DiMarco and Grimaldo over him. But just to get off of him a little bit, that's what I do. Again, Koto, I don't mind. He's a pretty attacking fullback. And then I think you just go punt. Like that's the only kind of reason I think you wouldn't just go Grimaldo and DiMarco. And I still go that like 90% of my builds. But just go like a punt to afford more payups. And like of the punts, like Sula, I think is fine. Like that's cheap. Whoever's 2,600 in starting, basically, and with like best matchup is what I do. Emerson, 2,800 is a cheap fullback, is all right. But yeah, so I'm not putting a ton of thought into like the other defenders because I will be mostly going Grimaldo and DiMarco. DiMarco's so underpriced at 4,800. Like that is so undervalued. And then the third piece is tough. You got to commit to attacker and an attacker. I'm tempted to go Yamal, and I'm tempted to go Gross actually. One of those guys. Right now, I think I'm kind of leaning towards Gross. It's a little bit more of like the conservative route of safe floor. Like he's not going to get less than 10, which is fine at that price, frankly. Like he might not win you anything, but he won't lose you, which is kind of what you're looking for in cash. And yeah, guys, that'll be it. It's a fun looking slate. I'll see you tomorrow.